Good morning. Training week 15, week 13 of the GB1 schedule, which was guard bottom. It's Sunday, so we'll be starting week 16 and 14 of GB1 tomorrow. So I thought I'd come out and do a little training vlog, let you know how it's going, keep you up to date. So a bunch of shit's happened. The training week 14 one, I actually filmed that in week 15, so I'd already had my one training day that week. The way it is right now is my wife and myself, we don't have a lot of money, so I can only really afford to get from the lovely Dumfries and Galloway. Good morning, everyone. Hope you have a nice view too. To get from Dumfries and Galloway to Glasgow is 80 miles and a lot of fuel, and we can only afford to do that twice a week realistically. And I mean, it's tight at the minute. We don't really spend any money on anything fun or anything so that I can do this, which is a hell of an ask. And you know, get yourself an amazing wife, I guess. But I had my training week, so 2 days. I had my Monday training day as normal, but then there was doctor's appointments and other commitments that we can't go without. So I had to go on Friday instead. So a couple of cool things that happened. This car went by, that one. And then what happened was the prof had said that some of the three-stripe white belts, they've been noticing the progress, and it's okay for us to come to any of the GB3 classes now, because a lot of us used to stay behind. We were watching the classes, and you know, we got a feel for what happens in those classes. Whilst the people are going to be blue, purple, brown and black belts and way ahead of us, some way more so than others, of course, but there's opportunities for them to teach as well. And you know, the ego is very, very this much on the mats at the minute, and the group of people we train with, I don't know what's going on in the prof's head. He's the prof, but he said he's been watching, he's been observing, and the level of progress is good. The level of maybe sportsmanship, maybe just like we're kind of cool with each other. The last thing anybody in that place, like really, and I've rolled with most people now, I think the last thing in anybody's head is to hurt the other person. That's just fucking not what you're doing. You're trying to get better, and you need that other person to train with. The better they get, the more they test you, steel sharpens steel, etc, etc, and we could go down any cliche you like. So moving up to GB3 classes. So what that means is on a Monday, Wednesday, my normal days that I can get there and do 2 classes, and there's a bit of time between. I thought 2 classes a day at my age, you know, I can handle that. Well, that means there'll be 3 classes now, because the lunchtime class, then I get my time in the park, chilling out and stuff with my study group, which I'll talk about in a sec. So I'll get 2 classes, and then I'll get the lunchtime class, turn up for that, and then I get my time in the park for the revision group and study group, and then go back for the 6:30 class. And because you can go in at 5:30 when the doors open, the prof's usually good about letting you go change and then just stay out of the way and get onto the other side of the mat, as long as you're respectful of noise and everything, because you might be teaching. You can go and stretch off for like an hour and stuff right before the class. It's really beneficial. So I get that. Get the class, obviously, which is the second class of the day, and then right after it is the GB3 class. So I'll be getting 3 classes on my normal Monday and Wednesday, obviously upkeeping with the GB1 schedule as well, and going through those classes and taking the relevant notes, which is something I've been working on. So that's a cool and exciting little thing. The study group's going really well. Pete, shout out Pete, man, Blue Belt Pete. He's out with some cauliflower ear at the minute. I mean, bro, do you even want to be a blue belt? Like, seriously, no, I'm joking. He's out a little bit. He took a real bash to his ear, man, and he's really mashed it up a bit. So he's given it a few days time off, which is fair enough, you know. Pete didn't manage to make it to the study group, but me and Craig went over with the foam mats in the park. Shout out Craig, man. And a big pigeon going overhead. Me and Craig were in the park, so we went through my notes. We went through about half the book. We didn't do takedowns, because that's just slamming each other on really fucking thin foam mats in the park. Don't be wankers, you know what I mean? It's not the point. We're trying to see if we know the techniques and everything from the class. Me particularly, the notes I've taken, excuse me, the notes I've taken, it puts it to the test if I can read the notes off the page and go, yeah, it's this, this, this. So it says left arm goes through, yeah, do that. And you follow all of that, and if you can pull off the sweep and not just like doing the techniques, it's kind of, can we do it gently enough that it's not going to hurt one another and it's not really that much exertion, and we're talking it through. And it's good to have other people who really like, you know, care about their jiu-jitsu and progress as much as those two guys do, because I can kind of feed off that with my, let's face it, obsession at this point. I have to admit it's an obsession, because it's like, I've got a fucking Instagram page about it, you know. I can hardly argue. So the revision group went really well. Like I said, this week I didn't manage to get the normal Wednesday. I went on Friday instead. 6 a.m. class. Which means leaving Dumfries and Galloway, the beautiful Dumfries and Galloway, leaving here at 4:15 in the morning and driving to Glasgow, which is a fucking lick. So by the end of the day, to keep the same attitude you had going in at 6 a.m. to that class, to keep the same attitude by 7 p.m. for the last class I did, and then it was no-gi at 8 p.m, so I could have stayed for that as well, but you know, just the 3 classes for me and the 2 revision sessions. So that's the other thing. It was cool. I said 2 revision sessions. So I did one with Craig, which we had already discussed in videos on this page. Thanks if you watch these, by the way. But I also, two of the guys, one guy, Ryan's just gone up to purple belt, which congratulations, by the way. And Kane has just been promoted to 3-star blue belt. Congratulations again. And those guys were going in to do some drilling in the back. In the men's changing room, there's like some mats laid out. There's plenty of space and stuff if there's no one in there getting changed, of course. So they were just going to go in and drill some stuff that Ryan had just been learning. And he was passing it on with Kane, one of the other coaches. So they'd seen that I was waiting outside, and they said, well, come on, just come in and learn this. And it was all foot and collar guard stuff. Really, really interesting and fucking terrifyingly simple things that they were doing. And they're, you know, I was drilling these things on Kane, and I got a shot to do it to Kane. Kane's a big boy, man. You know, I don't even know if Kane's his real name, but it might just be the wrestling fucking nickname. It might be. He's a big boy, right? And he's a big, strong lad. And the things I was doing, pulling his arm away from him, trying to pull his arm back away from me, and he was like, I'm putting full like effort into trying to get my arm back, and he just wasn't. I was pulling his arm away. So these things that we were drilling, it was super interesting and intricate compared to my level, I think, but it was a really nice thing for them to invite us in to kind of do that, because you know, I'm taking jiu-jitsu seriously and everything, and for them to see that and go, well, he can like take part in that, why not? You all right with that? And they kind of just both went, yeah, let's go. So we went in the back and drilled some shit. I was really cool, man. So yeah, I did the 2 revision sessions, and I've done 2 classes, and then a 7 p.m. class. This is the last thing I want to talk about. I'd been out in the sun. I'd done a lot of revision. I'd already done 2 classes, and I'd actually gotten up, even though I had to leave at 4:15 in the morning. I was actually woke up at 3:30 to 3:45, anywhere in there, and I went, oh fuck, and I went to the toilet, and I was like, I'm awake. There's no point in trying to go back to sleep. Just be as well, get a coffee, take my time, do everything you normally do, brush your teeth and all that, but take my time with a coffee and just solidify my mindset for the class. I need to do that, usually anyway, when I go at lunchtime, right? So, no excuses. I need to get the most out of jiu-jitsu if I'm going to go. Friday, there's 4 classes I can do. I guess I'm doing all 4 of them. Didn't manage to do all 4 in the end. What happened was I did the 6 a.m. lunchtime revision with Craig in the park, which was out in the sun for a little bit, so I've eaten a lot of that. I've had to rehydrate. Did the revision session with Kane and Ryan before the 7 p.m. class. At this point, I'm fucking exhausted and dehydrated, and I'm trying my absolute hardest. It's still hot in Glasgow. I'm sweating buckets. I mean, there's some lovely photos that Pete took from the sidelines, because, like I said, he couldn't come to the revision session, but he did turn up for the later session to watch from the benches, right? And take in the techniques and stuff. So you know, my gi pants are just like dark blue all the way down. I'm just sweating profusely at this point, desperately trying to rehydrate and everything. It just wasn't working. It's too much heat, exertion, whatever it was, man. At the end of the class, when everybody lines up and they bow, and then everybody shakes hands, I had to go to the toilet to pee again, because again I'm just necking water to replace what I'm sweating out. And when I came out of the bathroom, I was lightheaded, so when everybody came in from changing, I was just on my knees. I had nothing left, man. During the sparring session, that, like, prologues or epilogues or whatever the right one is, the one before, right before that, the sparring sessions, I'd been caught in a few things that I could normally at least put up a little more resistance to. I lost positions because I lost grip. This is all, again, sweating like crazy, losing a lot of salt, being dehydrated through the day and trying to replenish that, and you need to replenish electrolytes, and there's all sorts of things, so you're not getting everything you need. And going in there, not underprepared, I wouldn't say, but it was a hell of a fucking challenge to start rolling and swapping partners again and again. 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes. We were doing the a 1 2 3 drill, so they number you off 1 2 3. Number one's lie down, closed guard. Your job is to tap out whoever comes, and it's just new people, and you just go again and again and again. And when it's not your turn to lie down, you go line up, and then you're just filtering in to go into these positions with these people laying there waiting for you to come in, and they fight repetitively, and you only get a little break if you're not laying on the mat, but it's only a little break, so it's hard work, man. Everything that I was doing, trying my hardest, and it wasn't, like, at the end I had nothing left, man. I was getting caught with stuff, like I said, and the reason I think that was important to take on board, it's not a bad experience. It's not like, well, lesson learned, you know, I'm never going to do that much again, you know, you wouldn't have caught me if I wasn't so tired. No, it's fine, because a black belt would catch you whether you were fucking warmed up or not, so who cares? You got caught, and what? Little mistakes, or I lost position because of hand grips, or I couldn't fight off the triangle for some reason. I couldn't think. Get your elbow across, frame up, like break the knee and foot lock, shove that back into triangle setup so that they're cross foot rather than the knee. All these things, none of that was logically making any sense to me. The desire to keep fighting and to not give up until you really should just give up, you know, that time will become apparent to you, man. It does, certainly for me. And having the guts to just say, I haven't got enough right now. I haven't got enough. It's not enough right now, because there'll be a lot of that in the journey ahead, you know. And I've got to be able to accept when that is. I've got to be able to accept when it fucking isn't, also. So I suppose there's a challenge on both sides, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm learning a lot about myself. It's grounding me in the sense, like, it's making me very aware of myself, which is really healthy for me. And I'm just working with really talented people and really lovely people who've got a lot of time for us and believe in us, and that's all of us, everybody at the Gracie Bar of Glasgow. So I'm really fortunate to be in the place I'm at, and I'm still really enjoying jiu-jitsu, and I guess I'm looking forward a lot to week 16, so, which starts tomorrow.